Hi friends, Mrs. Angel here. So we are back and we're actually going to be making a paper quilt based on the Harlem artist Sanford Biggers. And he is an African American artist, and he makes quilts, he does paintings and sculptures, and he's multifaceted. He's amazing. You guys should definitely check his art out. Again, that's Sanford Biggers. And I thought today, while you guys are working, we would make a paper quilt. And we're going to be crumpling up our paper, and we're going to be using patterns. And it's very, very fun. It gets kind of our creative juices flowing. So what we need is you're going to need a piece of paper, and you're going to need some sort of a darker colored marker, and then you're going to need crayons. So the first thing you're going to do with your paper is you're going to want to put it up and down, which is vertical, and you're going to want to make just a line across the bottom and a line across the top, probably about a finger's worth width. So if you take your finger and stick it there. Next, we are going to make some wavy lines, nothing crazy, just a little bit wavy from top to bottom. And I can get 3 on there. And then I'm gonna do the same thing across horizontal. I'm gonna make some wavy lines. You don't have to make them wavy. You could make them zigzag or straight, whatever you decide you wanna do. Next, we wanna make some stitching on our quilt. So we are just gonna make some lines like this, going down each of these. So I'm gonna show you how to do that real quick. And now we're gonna do the stitching the other way. And I'm just gonna turn my paper like this. And again, I'm just gonna make my lines like this. I'm gonna start over here. And I like to start from the bottom. But again, you don't have to measure. You can make them further apart. Mine are really close together, but I just know that when my mom and my grandma would sew, they often would use their hand and go in with a needle and thread and make stitches like this. So it looked like a real quilt. They would obviously use a sewing machine as well, but they like to add some more detail. So again, you're just gonna do that. All right, so once you have all this stitching done, this is the fun part. So you're going to use crayons or colored pencils or markers, whatever you have at home, and you're going to start to color in your quilt. So I would start by just kind of coloring in each section a different color. Maybe you want to make a pattern of colors. Maybe you want like purple, green, and then your next row would be something different. But I am going to suggest, just for the fun of it, maybe coloring in some completely solid patches, and then in others, adding some sort of a design. You guys should know by now that I love polka dots. So I would do something like this, color in my background, and then make my polka dots all sorts of different colors. So you can design it however you want. Maybe you want to do hearts, maybe you want to draw, I know some of you really love to draw anime, maybe you want to put a little Pokemon, maybe you want to do a flower, maybe you want to do hearts, maybe you want to draw your family in one or your dog. Go ahead and be creative, but the one thing you don't want to do is you do not want to color in this top part or this bottom part, because this is the part we're going to fray. We're going to use scissors and cut. Okay? So I will see you back in a few. All right, so now that my quilt is colored in, and remember guys, we want to color tight, no white, which is where we don't leave any white space. Now I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm just gonna make some little cuts up until that first black line right there. And I'm gonna make them not super far apart, but not super close together. So I'm just kind of cutting up until that line, and this is gonna give me the feeling that it's like a blanket that's frayed. Again, I'm gonna flip over to the other side and I'm gonna go to that first black line that we did. And we're getting almost to the fun part where we get to crimple and crumble our artwork. Okay, so now that I have frayed my edges, here's what we're gonna do. Now, there's a forewarning here. You don't wanna go crazy bananas and just start crumpling your paper because there's a good chance it could rip. And not to say that it still won't rip a little bit, but a little bit of ripping is okay because we can always put tape on the back when we're done. But when we do this, because it's just copy paper, it's really thin paper, we're gonna kind of slowly start to just kind of crimple it up. Okay. Squeeze it really good. Now I'm gonna very carefully open it back up. Okay, so I'm just opening it back up. I'm not ripping it open because it will rip. And I'm gonna kind of flatten it out a little bit. If you see my little phrase. Now, I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna crinkle it up again, just maybe a different way. So maybe I'll turn it this way and I'll crumple it up. Ball it, squeeze it really good, squeeze. This works really good. Gets those hand muscles going too. And then I'm gonna open it up. And again, being very careful. And if you choose, you could probably do it one more time, but after about 3 times, I'd probably say you're gonna wanna stop because it's already getting really soft. So if you wanted to do one more time, go ahead. Again, bunch it up. And then carefully open it up. And again, you'll be able to feel the texture. It's actually kind of amazing at how soft that piece of paper can get. And then I just kind of pull down my little fringes. And there you have it, guys. We did a Sanford Biggers inspired paper quilt. And again, it's soft and it's texture, you can feel it, which is awesome. And you just made your very own paper quilt. I can't wait to see what you have done. See you later.